Alright guys, so today you're going to make sure to push-pull that wall up. You're going to make sure your roof is on like this, and you're going to make sure you have fascia boards that are trimmed right to the center of the ridge beam. Not to the side of the ridge beam like the rafters, but right to the center. So that's what we're going to be working on and trying to move a little bit quicker today. Most of these moves you know how to do, you just have to implement them in this fashion. So you're going to go ahead and click into this item, this wall, to pull it up. If you need to zoom in, go ahead, but you can see when it's dotted, that means I can edit that part, right? So I'll get my push-pull tool, I'll push P, or you can go ahead and select it on the menu to the side, and pull it up to just above my rafter, or my ridge beam, sorry. So what you want to do now is you can see how that's kind of lined out through it. Now that's actually going to help me, right? And I'm going to do the same thing to this side. So I'm going to click into this, into my wall so I can edit the side, get my line tool, go ahead and click on that in the side menu or just press L, click on my edge and bring it to where it touches just this top corner right here, right? I'm going to keep this line and I bring it to my end point up here, okay? Now, when it goes a different color, that's when I know that I have done it correctly, right? So I'm going to click on this piece, push, pull that away, right? So now I've trimmed one side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the exact same thing. You can see how this side looks a little bit different, right? But it's still dotted, so that means I can edit it. I'm going to get my line tool, click right where my rafter is, okay? Grab my hand tool, position myself up and rotate. Go back to my line tool and it will renew that line. And I'm going to take my line. You're going to notice my line is going to go right past the corner of this rafter all the way up to the edge, the end point, okay? When I do that, I know I've done it correctly. I've gotten it all the way to the edge. When one side goes dotted and the other side doesn't, right? That means they've been separated from each other, okay? And you can see how my line that I just created barely touches the top corner of my rafter. So I'm going to go ahead and select this part, get my push-pull tool, and push that away. Now, grab the hand, press H, and I can see I've created that wall. That's exactly what I wanted to do. The following things, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create my fascia, these pieces. Now, all you have to do is create a 2x6 on the ground. I'm going to create that 2x6. All right. You can see it's 9 feet long right there. It doesn't matter the length. So right now it says 10 feet first, so I know I need to do my long measurement. So I don't care how long it is right now because I'm going to edit that later. So I can say 15 feet, comma, it's going to be 1.5 inches wide because it's a 2x6, that's 2 inches, 1.5. When you remove the socket, enter. Okay. Get my push-pull tool and pull it up 5.5 inches. Of course, because it's 2x6, so you pay for the saw cut, what they've removed. Click it all, right click, make group. Then I'm going to grab a corner, get my movement tool, grab that inside corner right there and pull it up to the top right here. Now I actually accidentally put it behind it, so I'm going to Control Z that and move it up to right here to where I can see it. Then I'll zoom in and I will move that exactly to where I want to. Grab this inside corner and bring it to the opposite edge of my ridge beam. Now, if I look directly at it, you can see it's going straight. You say, okay, Mr. Brandt, that's a little weird. It's all right. Get your rotate tool, press Q. Mine's on a green axis. Yours might be on red. You have to see. Click at the top arrow because you lined up those top corners. All right, drag it along that line. Click a second time and begin to pull down. You see how it's giving you the numbers down at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, 13, right? I know I did my rafters at 45 degrees, so I'm just going to type 45. Click enter and it will reset itself to a 45-degree angle. Now what I want to make sure and do is I want to get my movement tool and I want this piece to be sitting just perfect to where my line, this line, hits there, hits that corner, okay? So not right there, just like that. I had it and I lost it. All right, so you move it to just right there. Okay. Now what I've done is I can now trim this piece right in the middle of my ridge. You can also drag it into your ridge if you would like, so you can see where your ridge beam is, just like how we did on the original rafters. So we know where to trim right in the center. Okay. Now, what you're going to do is create a second one and put it on the opposite end. So we're going to create that crisscross, right? So I'm going to create another 2x6, right? I don't care if the foot doesn't matter because I'm going to trim it down a little bit anyways. 12 feet, comma 1.5 inches. Push, pull it up, 5.5 inches. Yep. Space bar will give you your selector tool. Triple click on it, right click, and make group. Now I'm going to be able to do the same exact thing, right? But on the opposite end. So I'm going to move it up to the top up here. Zoom in so that I can make sure it's where I want it to be. If I really want, I can just move it just a little bit right. Let's see if we can get it in line. All right, let's click my up arrow, move it just a little bit up from there. All right. So I'll grab my rotate tool, right? Press Q again, click on it. See, it went blue, which means it's going to rotate on the wrong side. That's not what I want. So when I get my rotate tool, make sure mine's on green. Okay, I'm on the green axis. You want to make sure you're turning it on the proper axis. I'm going to type 45 just like I did the last one. Now you can see they're crisscrossed, but this line is not directly over that corner. So I'm going to get my movement tool, grab right here, and just drag it up to that line. Now I can draw that center point line. Okay, and what you could do is you could actually just get your line tool, grab a center point, and come up like this. And you can delete this line later, but it will tell you if you put anything over this ridge beam, the edge of it, it will tell you your end point or your center, your midpoint of it. Okay, so now I'm going to click into one of my ridge beams, or my fascia, my rake fascia, and I'm going to get my line tool, and I'm going to draw that right on that line that I created. Okay, now you can see it's a little bit off, but that's okay. It's all right. I'm going to click on this one and push pull that away. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click into edit the other one, and I'm going to draw right on that same exact line. Okay, and you notice this side did not go clear, or this one did not go clear, which means I was not successful in that move. So maybe zoom in a little bit. Get my selector tool, make sure it's on here. Line tool, right? Get it right on the edge. And if you need to, you can always zoom in. Okay. Now, once again, it did not go clear, so you want to make sure you get it clear. And maybe I need to start up here, right on edge, and go down to the bottom. Get your hand tool, you can always drag down a little bit, and then you just go back to line and click here. You can see that went white, which means that move was successful. This is still dotted, so I can just make sure this is selected, which is dotted, which means it is. Get my push pull, push it away. Now I've created it, and what I want to do now is I'm going to click out, so you can see how it's lined up perfectly. I can get rid of this line that I was using as kind of a template. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull these out to the very corner. Okay, I get my movement, just click right there and drag it out. Just stay on the line right there. Now you'll see if I move, it's sitting perfectly as if I had nailed it in right there. That's exactly what I want. So I'm going to do the same to this other one. If you're having issues selecting it, just select the piece and then get your movement tool and drag it along that same line. Okay. Now they are perfectly lined up. Now if I want to fix the bottom of my fascia, that's pretty easy to do. All you need to do is zoom in right here, click into edit this. Okay. Once you're into edit it, get your push pull tool, click this bottom part, and what you want to do is click to another outside point. So let me show you that again. So it's long, click into edit it, push pull tool, and when I take it to my rafter, you see how it has that dotted line? What it's doing is it's lining up the edge of my fascia ridge with the edge of that other rafter. So now they're going to be lined up perfectly. So I can do that with all of my pieces of fascia to make sure they're lined up. I already did it on this side, right? But I can double check. I can put it to here. They're all going to be lined up with that. even if you don't have your plywood. Okay, make sure they're lined up, your rake fascia with your rafters. Okay, rotate through to my other one, and I went inside there. And this one's longer, right? Because remember when I told you it doesn't matter how long it is because we're going to edit it later. This is us editing it, right? Push, pull it to that rafter. Bam. Right? Now we've created our rake fascia. You can click out, created our rake fascia. You can color it, paint it. Oftentimes people will use like a pastel white. And you need to push, pull the rest of your roof to it. So zoom in right here. I would just make it on your actual rafters right now and push pull it out. What you're going to do is you will make a rectangle, press R, make a rectangle, just start at the bottom and go out to this point and pull up a little bit, right? Once you're doing that, now you notice how it's going a little off. It's not working out too well for me. Okay, I want it on the blue axis, so I want it when it's lit up blue, but if it's not blue right now, if it's not on it, it's not going to be working out. It's going to give me something odd like that. So you might have to do it the old-fashioned way. Rather than a rectangle, just get your line tool, click on an outer corner, because we're not in anything, we're not editing it, we're drawing something new. Go up a little bit, click on that line, take it to the next piece. When it snaps to a point like that, you see how it's on green? That means it's perfectly straight compared to the other line. Bring it down because I know my rafter is straight. Click right here, and I'll drag it and I'll enclose it right there. Now I've created this, created a little board. I'm going to select it to edit it, push pull it up, and I'm just going to type in 0.5 inches, right? Half an inch, right? If you want to make it different, that's fine. Make it 3/4 of an inch, right? 0.75, right? So what you'll do now is go ahead and push pull it up into the sides. So I'm going to move a little bit, get a better angle. Or actually, before you do that, click it, make it into a group. Okay. Now you can go into edit it. Click that side right there. Push pull that out all the way to the edge of your fascia. Okay. See, on edge. Pull it up to my new piece of fascia. You come up here, get a different angle. Push pull this piece all the way up past your roof. Okay, and I'm going to show you why it's important because we're going to trim this to an angle. So it's going to look like this side right here where it lines up perfectly, okay? Click on this edge, push pull it to here. Then, and you notice I did this side a little bit thinner than that side, so I might thicken this side up before I do that final edit. Now you can click out and you can see you've push pulled it to your entire roof. Now all you need to do is actually grab your paint bucket and paint it whatever roof. Now this is the roof color I chose for the other side, so that's what color I'm going to keep it on this side. And I'm going to go ahead and edit this, push pull it down to level. Okay. And I'm going to push pull it up only a half an inch to try and keep it equal with my other side. Then I'm going to come in here and you can see how it still looks like a little bit taller, but that's all right. Okay, we can always fix everything. Okay, I'm going to come in here and edit. So let's push this back down to line, which undid it completely. So let's go ahead, push it back down. Okay. And that actually leaves it just a little bit thick. Can't get it down a perfect 0, but get it as close as you can. Okay. Maybe just a little bit, and then we'll minus that from our count. Or if you like, you can just push pull it up to this point right here, make it even easier. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to click onto this side. I'm going to grab my line tool, draw on that endpoint, right? Or this endpoint, you could choose whichever one you want to start with, all the way down. Now I didn't get those differences, so I want to change it. And I am going to end this in about a half a minute, right? So if I don't finish this cut, you do know how to make this cut. Make sure you're at the end point. Okay, it should be red. And add an end point down here. There you go. Now all you want to do now, get your push pull tool, and you're going to simply push this piece away. You can see how it starts disappearing as I